This is Land of Havilah, Psalm 34. It's 22 verses. Verse 1. By David when he pretended to be insane before Abimelech, who drove him away, and he departed. Comment, the background of this psalm is in 1 Samuel 21. King Saul of Israel was jealous of David and was determined to kill him, so David fled the country. He was by himself and tried to live for a short while quietly and anonymously in the city of Gath in Philistine country. The name of the local king was Achish, according to the 1 Samuel account, and according to verse 1 we just read of this psalm, the name was Abimelech. So was he Achish or Abimelech? Later, after David had been king of Israel for many years, Achish was still king in Gath, 1 Kings 2:40, so Achish's reign overlapped with David's reign for a long time. We can see how David wouldn't want to use Achish's real name in this psalm because, as we know, the names of living people in public literature brings up a lot of issues. There used to be a detective show on TV based on the case files of the Los Angeles Police Department. At the beginning of every show, the announcer said the cases were real, but the names were changed to protect the innocent. And we might add, to prevent lawsuits, unnecessary embarrassment, inappropriate publication of facts that should be kept private, and so on. It would just stir up a hornet's nest to use the real names, and there would be no advantage to it. The stories were the point, not the names. So why should David use Achish's name in this psalm? Achish was a heathen, for one thing. Why bring the name of a heathen into a psalm of praise? And there would be other issues. Skeptics of the Bible would be quick to assume there was inaccuracy of the name either in 1 Samuel or in this psalm, but to ever assume the Bible's inaccurate is to shortchange oneself. A serious student of the Bible is more and more stunned over time with the Bible's accuracy and historical reliability, unless he assumes it's fiction. With that presupposition, he'll never get anywhere. He'll just get further and further off course. And many have gone that direction, but not your narrator. He's seen too much to ever go that direction. But back to David's situation, he was in a great deal of distress because he had no place to go. He wasn't safe in his home country, and he wasn't safe among the Philistines because he had already killed Goliath, who was from Gath, and had already led Israelite troops on many occasions against the Philistines. But still he figured his best immediate choice was to go to Gath and keep a low profile. But soon King Achish learned he was there, so as a matter of self-defense, David pretended to be insane, as verse 1 of this psalm just said. David really had no defense but Yahweh, and he knew it. Thanks to Yahweh, Achish bought the bit about David being insane and left him alone. So this psalm is David's praise to Yahweh that everything worked out. He got away from Saul, and Achish left him alone. Picking up now, still in verse 1. I will bless Yahweh at all times. His praise will always be in my mouth. My soul shall boast in Yahweh. The humble shall hear of it and be glad. O magnify Yahweh with me. Let's exalt his name together. I sought Yahweh, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Comment speaking of the humble, verse 5. They looked to him and were radiant. Their faces shall never be covered with shame. This poor man cried, and Yahweh heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. Yahweh's angel encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. O taste and see that Yahweh is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Comment, David knew his real refuge wasn't the land of the Philistines so much or King Achish so much, but Yahweh. Verse 9. O fear Yahweh, you his saints, for there's no lack with those who fear him. The young lions do lack and suffer hunger, but those who seek Yahweh shall not lack any good thing. Comment, he says, those who seek Yahweh shall not lack any good thing. On David's way out of Israel, he didn't have anything to eat, and it seems he had no money, 1 Samuel 21:6. But God sustained him. He went with nothing, and God kept him alive. So when he says in verse 10, those who seek Yahweh shall not lack any good thing, he lacked a home, he lacked money, he lacked food. But because of his faith in Yahweh, he didn't see any of it as lack. He saw Yahweh as his ever-present provider, and indeed he was. Verse 11. Come, you children, listen to me. I'll teach you the fear of Yahweh. Who is someone who desires life and loves many days that he may see good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. Yahweh's eyes are toward the righteous. His ears listen to their cry. Yahweh's face is against those who do evil, to cut off their memory from the earth. The righteous cry, and Yahweh hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. Comment. God's so good he even helps the wicked to an extent, Matthew 5:45. He provides for them much better than we would think. However, they have no assurance that he will. Eventually he'll cut them off, as verse 16 just said. But his eyes are toward the righteous in verse 15. He listens to their cry. He delivers them out of all their troubles in verse 17. Verse 18. Yahweh is near to those who have a broken heart and saves those who have a crushed spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yahweh delivers him out of them all. He protects all of his bones. Not one of them is broken. Comment. The righteous will be afflicted in verse 19, quote, Many are the afflictions of the righteous, end quote. So there you have it. Don't expect a breezy life even if you're righteous. But regarding those afflictions of the righteous, Yahweh delivers him out of them all. According to the Gospel of John, 19:36, verse 20 we just read was a prophecy that Jesus wouldn't suffer any broken bones. Quote, He protects all of his bones, not one of them is broken, end quote. It turned out that when Pilate ordered the legs of the criminals on the crosses to be broken so they would die faster, the soldiers broke the legs of the two criminals on Jesus' left and right, but didn't break Jesus' bones because he was already dead, which John says was a fulfillment of verse 20 we just read. So there's a lot of positive talk in this psalm based on faith. A scoffer would look at life and tell us, look at all the afflictions of the righteous, look at the afflictions of Jesus. How could the positivity of this psalm possibly apply? But God does look after the righteous and sees them through even in death. Verse 21, Evil shall kill the wicked. Those who hate the righteous shall be condemned. Yahweh redeems the soul of his servants. None of those who take refuge in him shall be condemned. Comment. It's not over till it's over, and in the end the wicked will die because of their wickedness, and Yahweh will redeem the soul of his servants. Any affliction we suffer here is momentary and light compared to the glory that awaits, and in that we take comfort. In fact, our momentary and light afflictions produce the glory to come. Quote, For momentary light affliction is producing for us an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison, 2 Corinthians 4:17. How those afflictions will be converted to glory remains to be seen, but we take it to be true. Psalm 35 is next.